McFadgen. He's here to talk to us all things movies and what's coming up over the course of the next couple of weeks and what's in theatres now. Good morning, Collie.
Speaking of whoops now, here I am.
Whoops, we let him in again.
Yeah. One of these days you'll change the code to the door. But it's great to be back and on a day made for the cinema, if ever there was one. Welcome to summer in Donegal. But also, you know, it's always good when we've some fun stuff to talk about, and we definitely have this month. Now, last month, Rory, you might remember, I was very positive, and we were talking about The Fall Guy that didn't really find an audience. It did okay. And then I was saying, Furiosa, that's great. Did okay. Both of them, and only did all right. And there was big articles all over, papers all over the world going, end of cinema, box office, terrible. And then Bad Boys 2 came, or Bad Boys 2? Bad Boys Ride or Die, which I don't like saying. Let's call it Bad Boys 4. Four.
Oh, right.
Here.
Okay.
And it came out and I watched it and I thought, that's good fun. But I don't know. It does nothing original. I don't know.
Whatever happened to just numbering movies? Why does every movie now, every sequel seems to have some sort of a subtitle?
Well, nearly all of them, it's because they're afraid people won't go and see it because they go, I haven't seen the first, I haven't seen 3, I haven't seen 4. Famously, The Madness of King George III, the play had to be called The Madness of King George because they were afraid people in America wouldn't say, well, I haven't seen the first 2. I can't go and see it.
Okay,
true story.
Fair enough.
But
okay.
So Bad Boys, and I went to see it and I thought it was the epitome of a Ron Seal movie, you know, it does exactly what it says in the tin. And I went, I probably won't remember this. And it's been huge, Rory. And maybe that's where I got it wrong. It is maybe doing huge numbers because it does exactly what it says in the tin. People go, I want Will Smith to be quite funny while looking cool shooting things. Martin Lawrence to be even funnier.
Yeah.
A story that makes pretty much no sense. And there's going to be fast cars and they're going to be driving around Miami and it's going to be some pretty ladies. Like, I actually timed it. It's 52 minutes before they arrive in the sort of, let's call it a burlesque club, right? You know, it ticks all the boxes of these sort of movies that you'd imagine. And people are really enjoying it. And as I said, I did enjoy it. But I thought, I don't think this moves the dial. It has had packed houses for the last 2 weeks. And I also think the thing about Will Smith was, you know, very much, you know, persona non grata for a while. I had to be in the penalty box for a bit. But coming back, rather than doing another nominated for an Oscar type movie, doing the, hey, it's the get jiggy with it guy. People, you know,
remember what I used to be like.
Yeah, remember what I used to be like.
Yeah.
I'll do that again. And you go, oh yeah, that's fine. It's like when these bands, you know, say, oh, I'll never do that song again. And then after a couple of album flops, they go, it's the greatest hits tour. Yeah, it's a bit like that. And it's really good fun. And speaking of sequels that are good fun, yesterday we got Inside Out 2. Now, it's another Pixar sequel, you know, and for a long time Pixar didn't do sequels. And then some of them weren't that great, but Inside Out was one of my favourite Pixars from the last couple of years, which is the one of the young girl, and it's all the emotions in her brain that rule her. It was very similar to when I was a kid growing up. I think it was the Dandy, could have been the numbskulls, all the little things that ran your brain, and that was the same sort of idea. And it was lovely and heartfelt, and it was all the things Pixar do of a movie for all the family. Little people can like just, you know, the funny creatures running around. There's a poignancy for the parents, you know, really pulls at the heartstrings. And when I heard they were doing a sequel, I was kind of going, I'm not sure. It was so good. But no, we're in safe hands here. It's not really a sequel as much as the next chapter. So the first one ends with a big red light going off on the alarm panel where the emotions are going, and one of them's going, what's puberty? And and next thing, puberty comes, and with it comes a whole load of new emotions, including anxiety, envy, ennui, which is so funny. It is just the boredom gene of just going, you're so boring to all our parents. And it's just, anybody with a teenager or a teenager to come will love that bit. Yeah. And embarrassment. And embarrassment is played by this huge guy who's a hoodie pulled up over his face, and you can just kind of see his nose, and every time he gets really embarrassed he turns around and you can see his builders crack, and it's just so funny and so cleverly, because you remember part of being a teenager is being mortified all the time by things you do, by your family, by your parents. And really, we just go into the next level, and Riley goes off to summer camp, and it's all about her finding out who she is and trying out new personalities, as kids often do when they turn that age and they go, I'm going to be a bit tougher and all that. And if the first one was kind of, to quote Led Zeppelin's Rain song, was that there has to be a bit of sadness in your life and a little rain must fall. This one's about, look, all the things make you who you are, even the bad bits of your personality.
What's interesting there, I think, is, a lot of the younger kids who would have seen the original will now be able to identify.
Oh, yeah.
Because they've
grown up with it. And actually, Amy Poehler said she thinks it should be like that old TV series 7 Up, where they go back every couple of years and make the the next version of it. And there is something in that, because like I'm 51 and I look back and go, God, when I was 45 I knew nothing, let alone when I, each time you go, right, I've learned everything now. Now I figured it all out. Not a bit of it. It continues on all life, and it's lovely. And what's really unusual about it, it's a G-cert, right? Which means everyone can go and see it. There's nothing scary or spooky, but it really is the rare film that's a G-cert that everyone in the family can enjoy. And I mean, granny to the babies. There's something there for everyone. It's lovely, it's funny, it's sweet, and it's cute. The first
of the sort of the family blockbusters.
Oh,
for the summer season,
yeah.
I think,
And it already, it's only been open one day, and already the numbers are reflecting it. People are absolutely loving it and going to see it.
Expecting
it's great.
Big things from that one.
Yeah,
all
huge.
Right. Okay. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk blockbusters proper.
Yeah.
What's coming our way over the course of the next 4 weeks or so. Don't go anywhere.
Score big this week at Centra with our winning offers, like selected fresh meats, any 3 for €10. Walker's Quavers, Watsits, Monster Munch 6-pack, €2 each. And 19 Crimes Wine, Sauvignon Blanc, €10. It's all kicking off. Centra. Live every day. Enjoy alcohol sensibly.
Home improvements are well worth making, especially when they help build a more sustainable future for us all. With the Generation Green Home Upgrade from SSE Airtricity, you can enjoy a more energy-efficient home with solutions tailored to your budget. And now home upgrades are easier to finance. You can access new low-cost government-backed loans as well as the existing SEAI grants. And we're here to help. Make an improvement that will make a real difference at ssceairtricity.com/home upgrade. Registered with the SEAI for home energy upgrades. Grants offered are provided by the Government of Ireland through the Sustainable Energy Authority of Ireland. Terms and conditions apply to the home energy upgrade loan.
For the best breakfast in town, take a seat at Kelly's Diner, Mountain Top. Try the renowned Early Bird Special or the Full Irish, or go all the way with the ultimate Monster Trucker. There's also healthy options like Kelly's Protein Breakfast or turkey and scrambled eggs. Choose from the full breakfast menu every day at Kelly's award-winning diner at Mountain Top, Letterkenny.
Foy & Company in Ballybuffet and Letterkenny are the largest stockists of paint and wallpapers in the Northwest. Our qualified colour consultants and interior design team will help you create a beautiful space designed for your needs. We work with commercial and residential customers, have all the largest brands and can match any colour. We stock all the interior and exterior paint along with all the painting accessories you'll need to completely transform your space at Foy & Company in Letterkenny and Ballybuffet.
The time is 13 minutes to midday. It's the Saturday Morning Rewind, and Collie McFadden is in studio with me. We are talking all things movies, what's in theatres right now and what is coming up over the next month or so. So here's one I've been waiting on for 28 years or so, give or take. And I'm a little bit worried because it's one of my the original was one of my all-time favourites. It was the first movie I ever saw in what's now Eclipse Cinemas.
Okay.
Clifford Strabane. Okay. And I think it was actually opening weekend.
I think you might be right. Yeah,
1996. Yeah. It was Twister.
Yeah.
And here we are, 2024. Twisters.
Yeah, at least they haven't gone, Twister, colon, like we were talking about before. Subtitle one. They've gone the aliens one, which is good. Now, I understand that you're worried about this because, let's face it, you've had your heart broken a few times lately with the movies that you've loved as a young fella.
Well, I'll tell you where I am, right? I'm thinking back to about 10 years ago, which is even scary to say that now. But when you had, I'm just thinking around the same time as Twister came out, the other big one that year was Independence Day.
Yeah, Independence Day 2 was
exactly. Independence Day regurgitation or something.
Yeah, head wreck, car crash, whatever it was called.
That's what I'm worried. I mean, it was awful. Yes. There are no redeeming qualities at all. The storytelling, the acting, the visuals, everything was just wrong.
Yeah,
about it.
I couldn't agree more with that. I'm a bit more optimistic about Twisters, and for a couple of reasons. One thing, if they get the effects right, the technology has moved on, but even stuff like drones where they can actually fly into actual Twisters, get the footage and use it in the movies. But even when you look back at Twister, one of the things was they were very good actors in it, but they weren't particularly renowned. Okay, Philip Seymour Hoffman was in it, but he wasn't there.
At that point, no.
he wasn't.
The two big names, you had Bill Paxton and Helen Hunt.
Who weren't big names.
Yeah.
Helen Hunt was a TV star, and Bill Paxton was a sidekick in movies.
Yeah.
He really wasn't a lead actor.
That's true, actually.
Now you've got Glenn Powell, who's done very well in a few movies, but hasn't been in a massive movie yet. Probably best known for some people, the sidekick in Top Gun.
Yeah.
You have Daisy Edgar Jones, who had the crawfish thing, but really is best known as a TV star.
Yeah.
So hopefully they've spent the money on the story and the looks of the movie and a couple of fine actors rather than, a megastar, rather than a Will Smith where all the money goes to them and none of the money goes to the movie. So I'm hoping for that reason that it kind of let's nature be the star, because that was one of the things about the first one. Let's be honest, the main fun of it was the Twisters.
Well, it was the special effects, but you need to remember as well, it was the mid-90s.
Yeah.
We were just off the back of Jurassic Park
and Terminator 2,
where CGI had just sort of exploded,
Yeah.
and look at all these things we can do. Now 24 years or 28 years later, it's like, just another. What concerns me is from the trailers that I've seen is that it looks like a rehash of the original story. You have a group of storm chasers, they're in it for the science, and then you have the group of rival storm chasers who are in it for the money.
But one thing I would say is, in the era we live in now with YouTube prankers and stunt makers and people, Instagram people, this is the sort of thing that is happening now. We had those people, the influencers going to Chernobyl to film themselves. We had the guys running onto the pitch during the Champions League final as stunts for social media. So in some ways that bit's more relevant than ever. There would be Egypts.
Possibly,
I am sure if we go on Google now, there's an Egypt there who goes and films himself in front of Twisters.
I'd love to be one of those.
I'd be the science guy. I'd be the science nerd with the glasses going, no, Rory, you can't do that.
And I'm just a liability.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Folks, if Hollywood is listening, Twister 3, both myself and Rory Farrell, you're available, are you?
We are available, yeah.
Talk to our agent, phone Liam here
Your people, talk to my people.
at the stage. But no, I think it might be fun. And I'm also quite happy that it's a sequel, but not a direct sequel, in that nature has continued in the last 28 years, and we're not going to have to worry about, they've had to do a bit of work on your man's face, haven't they, to get him to look young again. So I'm hoping it's good crack.
Okay. So time will tell.
Yeah.
That's out
Just
mid-July?
Mid-July. So by the time I'm back next month, we should be talking about who's right, me or Rory.
Yeah, okay. We'll certainly look forward to that one. All right, finally, A Quiet Place.
A Quiet Place. This is the prequel. And again, a movie that was a surprise hit, really, because at the time, Emily Blunt was a biggish star, but probably hadn't opened movies on her own. John Krasinski hadn't directed a movie before. And suddenly, just the idea of aliens where you can't make any noise. So a movie with no sound. And what an effect was. And I remember watching it in the theatre, and it's so quiet, and everyone's afraid to make, and people are opening the popcorn, and there's a rustle, and the aliens will get us. And that's when you know a movie is working. Yeah. When you suspend,
you're sucked right into
sucked right in. And again, this trailer, and this is going to show us, because the movie starts, the aliens are already there. We're living in a world where people are having to coexist with the aliens, really. Whereas this is the original attack. So it looks fun. And again, maybe, for teens for the summer, something a bit more that they can get their teeth into. A bit scary, very clever. The first two movies were really, really clever. So I'm hoping they make this.
It was original storytelling.
Yeah, it was original storytelling. And there's a lot more story to tell, because, the thing with this one, it's all new characters, just in a different place, because the aliens obviously attacked over the world. So we're just going to a different place.
A different quiet place.
A different quiet place and fine actors. So fingers crossed for this one.
Okay, good stuff. A text in here says, Rory, I remember the opening weekend for Twister 28 years ago. It was actually the weekend the cinema opened in Lifford. Twister was sold out. Sorry, I was there.
Yeah.
So we went to the film next door in Screen 2 and we could hear the noise of the twisters coming through the walls because it was so loud.
Okay.
There you go.
Hopefully they fixed the wall since.
Yeah. Very good. Listen, Collie, we have to leave it there. Thanks so much for coming in and joining us. We will see you
Next month sometime.
sometime
Who
in
knows?
July, post-Twister.
Yeah.
Post-Twister. So thanks so much for coming in to join us this morning. 6 minutes to midday.